Let's freaking go! LSU, one of the most dominant Tiger performances we can remember. So we're going to break it down from so many different angles. And obviously, the big story was not only Jayden Daniels, but how freaking good this LSU defense was. Right here, this pocket is actually pretty good, if you ask me. I don't know where Will Rogers was throwing this ball, and you could just tell he can't throw the football deep. He has no arm. That ball was just dying. I guess he thought that receiver was going to sit right there. All right, so we move ahead here to this 3rd and 2. And this is a very interesting dynamic if you're LSU, okay? Boom. It's 3rd and 2. Obviously, this throw to move the chains is open. That Jayden Daniels could have thrown. This is a really good play design. Chris Hilton's job versus this man coverage is to, help shield this DB from going around, and it's there. Jayden decides to not throw it. And then, like we pointed out in our initial film study, the shallow middle portion of the field is open versus Mississippi State, and boom, Jayden's looking right at him, and he doesn't decide to throw it. Okay? But this is a benefit of Jayden Daniels. He is a playmaker, so he decides to think about running it. There's a guy standing right there for him, so now he's able to just buy time, and something does eventually open up. Jayden does see it. Good job by Logan Diggs, holding his arm up in the air, saying, hey, I am available here. So Jayden stops it, looks back to the right, and he finally finds Logan Diggs. So, you're not always going to be able to make plays like that. You want to make either one of those throws, but that's okay. For me, a problem that I've seen with Jayden Daniels on these types of extended plays is sometimes he'll just take off and run when what you should do is just stay back there and wait for someone to open up like he did there. Look at that. So now it's being communicated, and Jayden is changing the protection, and they see that Mississippi State is deciding to bring something, okay? Because it looks like they're playing off, but they saw that the linebackers were leaking in here. What essentially happens is this is a zero blitz. It is man coverage across the way, and they're playing off, okay? It's a really good call. Defenses normally like to blitz in this spot. We won't get into all the reasons why, and this is just really good quarterbacking right here by Jayden. We normally don't want unblocked A-gap pressure, but everybody else other than this player is blocked, and Jayden, look at this throw while getting smashed, throws it right there to make it a manageable 4th down. And you'll see it right here, okay? So Charles is already obviously blocking down. In theory, you would want Josh to block this unblocked safety, but the reason why you let the safety go and you pick him up is because the safety is coming from all the way back here. So Jayden looks left, and he immediately works back to a safety valve, and what have we said? Malik Nabers in the slot all day, every day, and look at that throw. That's just really, really, really good stuff right there by Jayden Daniels. All right, so that's just elite quarterbacking, right? Understanding that you don't need to get every single yard to make it 4th and manageable. And a good call right here by Brian Kelly to not settle for the field goal and go for it on 4th down. So many things I love about this play call in particular, and you're actually going to see the highest graded play by a true freshman I had this entire day, okay? Outside of course, Caleb Jackson sending somebody to a different planet. And it was actually made right here by Mac Markway. The first thing is we're running a jet sweep, right? And we did a whole film study this offseason on this play in particular about why I think this play to Malik Nabers is one we should run more. And my favorite thing about this is LSU on film on 4th down had been showing just simple zone read runs, simple stuff that's very predictable. So instead of just banging it up inside, we're taking it to the outside, okay? Now, why was this play made by Mac Markway? First thing, good job by Kyron Lacey getting a piece, slowing down Marcus Banks to help Mac Markway to get to this 2nd level. Definitely Kyron's best play of the day. And now we have Mac Markway making this block, and look at him drive Marcus Banks. Look at that. Look at that. Josh Williams takes kind of a bad angle, and he completely whiffs his block. But because Mac Markway made such a massive block right there, we're able to pick up a 1st down easily. Here we go, 2nd and goal. let's see what happens here. Okay. Obviously, in this case, this is one of the few bad reads that Jayden made. I'm a little shocked he did not pull this because he would have had one-on-one versus a safety. I still don't mind a handoff here because we're just dominating them. All right, they overload the right side. We just dominate them. Good block by Will and Deli, and we're able to, push forward right up here for a 3rd and goal. All right, so 3rd and goal, and running just a simple zone play to the left right here, and let's see. And I just came up short. I was seeing if he needed to go airborne, and he actually did because of the pile. And Logan almost scored. Got a little bit of a bad spot. It was tough to see, though, because Will was blocking that angle, and Aaron Anderson was actually blocking the goal line angle. All right, 4th and goal. And, of course, LSU would have scored here if it wasn't for the false start. I've got to be real here. I prefer quarterback sneaks in this spot. What's very interesting was the false start actually happened by not one but 2 players. And I think that's because they are going off the clap. All right, so when Jayden claps right here, they're going. So the ball should potentially already be snapped. But here's the thing. If you're in a quarterback sneak in this spot, you're going off go. So if that's the case, then you don't have to worry about, the guys not firing off on time. So there you go. Still very unfortunate that were to happen. And we blocked this, honestly, pretty fine, and we were able to score. So LSU settles for the field goal. The only thing else I would say about that play is, you don't need your offensive lineman firing out the football just so hard in that instance. You want to err on the side of caution. Go back and look at Stephen Ridley's famous run versus Tennessee, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The entire left side of the offensive line didn't even fire off, basically, and he was still able to get in. But then again, taking the field goal, not the worst thing because LSU's defense played abso-freaking-lutely insane. So 3rd and 17. And once again, the pass rush didn't necessarily get home here. Decent rush by Perk, not the absolute best. He did end up making some plays in this game. Obviously, this player was able to get his hands on him and throw him off his rush. Obviously, if you have a player that's leaning and you see him reach his arms out like that, that left arm club right here to this elbow and just turn it. We want him leaning on you like that. So sometimes, Perk's go-to move is that ghost rush. Sometimes you actually do have to use your hands, especially if they're going to stab you like that. So once he extends his arm and start reaching, just club left rip right around, and you're home. But he did a good job here running a little bit of a stunt. It still doesn't get home. Coverage is good across the way. Sage Ryan's over his person. Tutu just kind of gave up here, and I'm guessing nothing is open, and that wasn't even an accurate ball right there. 1st and 10, one of my favorite play designs of the day. Running a go here, running a go here, and what have we been saying on PHL? Put Malik in the freaking slot. And when you run a go here and you run a go here and you're running a running back to the flat, this is a high-low read for Jayden. So if this DB and this linebacker were further back, you'd hit your check down right here for Logan Diggs for a nice gain. But if they all bite in, you hit Malik on this out, which is going to be, or this deep out right here, which is going to be wide open on the rollout because the 2 vertical routes cleared that out. And it was a good, accurate throw by Jayden and a good job right here by Malik Nabers keeping his feet in bounds and getting it upfield, right? We'll take these yards all day. If they're going to play off, look, that's a 5-yard gain. And if you're able to make a guy miss, you're able to obviously turn it into something more. So what happens on the very next play? Well, one thing I really liked from Mike Denbrock's game plan is the best time to throw the football isn't on 3rd and long. It's on first and 10. That's the best time because they're expecting you to run the football. And when you take what the defense gives you, you eventually get a good look like this. So Mississippi State is in single high coverage. LSU has been playing a lot of teams that play what's called two high, where there's a deep safety here and a deep safety here. So when teams play two high, guess what happens? It's difficult to throw the football deep, right? But in this case, we're getting one high. And guess what? We want to attack this portion of the field. This DB has straight head-up leverage right here on Malik Nabers. He's not shaded right here, and he is on his heels. This is not a corner. This is a nickel safety type. So we want to take advantage of this matchup. Look at this freaking pass protection. It's absolutely immaculate. And Jayden throws a perfect spiral. Look at that thing, baby. And it's right where only Malik can get it. Just an absolutely great throw right there by Jayden Daniels for a tutty on the slot fade. Alrighty, so it's 3rd and long, and guess what? They decide to run a screen in the direction of Harold Perkins, and guess what? It's there. It's there. This is an absolutely massive gain, and guess what? It was blocked to perfection. They got there for you want all 4 of the defensive linemen to be at least 5 yards past the original line of scrimmage. And look at this. Will Rogers. This isn't even close. Everything's blocked to perfection. He's blocked. That would have been blocked, and it would have been Marks versus Zy Alexander for a first down. So we pick it up here on 1st and 10. Jayden Daniels, abso-freaking-lutely cooking, all right? Once again, I highly recommend you always listen and watch our film study previews. We drop normally 1 or 2 during the week, okay? What did we say? Their linebackers like to keep sinking all the way back. Take this all day. I mean, this is an explosive play if you just make one person miss, and we do exactly that. Josh Williams, he is so good at making players just run off of him, and we pick up a huge 15-yard gain on first. All right, 3rd and 3, one of the only, just bad plays for the LSU offense, and it's kind of sort of the same thing. So just from this point forward, if Malik Nabers is in the slot and this DB is giving us inside leverage, this should be an auto slot fade call every single time until they do something about it. And on this 3rd and 3, we're kind of sort of outnumbered here in this box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, 6, 7 guys going up against 6 blockers to get 3 yards. So there's somebody unblocked right here, and it's straight man-to-man across the way. This just isn't really a good play call. You need every single block to hit. And we have a little bit of a miscommunication here with Mac Markway. It looks like Emory Jones expected Markway to block down, and this play is just blown up from the start. It was a good pull read by Jayden. I guess 91 was supposed to be unblocked right here. Obviously, he crashes down. And Jet Johnson's just right there to make the play, and there's just nowhere to go. 4th and 7, guess what happens again? Single high safety, DB, once again, the same guy we just burned for a tutty. Love the call right here to just go for the whole shebang bang, and the protection is good, okay? The only mistake here was we did not pass this off well, all right? I'm kind of okay with it. We struggled with stunts 2 years ago when we played here, and Deli doesn't get over on 26 coming through here, so you can kind of see we're whiffing this stunt. But because it's a slot fade and it's not really a long developing play, even though it's a deep pass play, it's a straight go, essentially, right? So it doesn't it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So it was picked up well enough for Jayden, while he's getting hit, to throw that. Okay? Unbelievable. And look at this. It's all smiles, baby. He's got the chain out. BK dapping him up. We are cooking, baby. I love seeing that. Mason Smith firing him up. Get the all-22 of it here, and I want to make a point. The LSU offensive line didn't have their most dominant day, but they were pretty good. Will Campbell didn't have his best day. But the truth is, if you get elite quarterback play, it doesn't matter. They are able to overcome things when there's holes elsewhere. Okay, so yeah, we didn't pick up the stunt well. And it doesn't matter, all right? You have playmakers on the outside. If you have Malik, Nabers, and Jayden Daniels connecting on this level, this is very Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams-esque. They were so good at running slot fades. And look at where this ball is placed. I mean, you can not have the cleanest protection and it not matter. Something else that's interesting is you'll see right here, Jayden Daniels doesn't actually play with this mouthpiece in his mouth. It's in his mouth, but it's not like flush in there, if you get what I'm saying. So he's got the Steph Curry thing going for him. Gets absolutely pummeled. That's just elite quarterback play. It really, really, really is. And Pickering, oh, look at that. He even took a knee right here. Okay? Don't tell me that wasn't intentional. All right, it's 3rd and 17. I said 3rd and 17. It's 3rd and 11. We're getting exotic here. And I'll tell you this. Andre Sam very well could have had the best day defensively for LSU. Really good play design. Get the football in one of your playmakers' hands. You're not getting anything vertical. Good job by Denver Harris making this wide receiver Xavier Thomas eventually miss his block. That's really good stuff by Denver. And honestly, he ends up kind of sort of missing the tackle. Andre Sam flies in there. Good hustle from behind by Greg Penn as well. Sam was just everywhere yesterday. Boom! Looking at you. If you watch plenty of my film studies, the one thing that could make me really happy is you get yourself some PHL merch, baby. So, 3rd and 9, okay? That's the thing about Jayden's performance here. There's a lot of 3rd and longs he had to complete, and it's the same thing. Their linebackers just bailing so far back. It was there on the Arizona film. Just hit our best player in stride. Look. I mean, it's not going to be that easy. Teams are just not going to let us play pitch and catch. Jayden's going to have to make tight window throws to move the chains at some point. All right, so LSU gets called on a BS holding penalty on Lance Hurd, and LSU would have scrambled for a first down because of Jayden Daniels is just straight out balling out of control. Okay, we're going to bring it back here. 94, who's been killing us this game, goes to the inside, and 22's going to the outside, and there is a major miscommunication. Lance Hurd passes 94 off to Emory Jones, who's new in at right guard, and he goes with the end. It comes down to how it's supposed to be communicated. Was Lance supposed to stay with this end and Diggs pick up the twister, or was Emory Jones supposed to be able to pick up this twister here? It's tough. It's just how it's coached. All right, so you'll see it from this angle. And the reason why I bring up Garrett Nussmeier is I do think if LSU didn't have Jayden Daniels, there would be more teams that would try to twist and stunt, okay? Because twist and stunts do have a tendency to get defensive linemen out of their rush lanes, some teams choose to not do it versus LSU because Jayden is just so freaking good at reading a rush lane. Right here, if it is straight up the gut, right up the middle pressure, it doesn't matter who you have at quarterback. It's very difficult to get out of it. Very, very difficult. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, more than likely the future of LSU's offensive line is going to feature these two players at these two positions. Okay? Emory Jones has struggled with stunts at tackle, and he's also struggled with stunts now at guard, and it's just difficult. It honestly is very difficult. He gave up a sack on a twist last year versus Mississippi State. So yeah, it's just tough, right? All right, so Andre Sam is quickly becoming one of LSU's best defensive players, and the reason why I want to shout him out here is because we spent a lot of time on a tackle he missed versus Grambling, and this is a very, very difficult play that he makes here, okay? So this works. It's a kind of a fake run to the right, but a quick handoff here to Xavier Thomas. And you see they have numbers here. So they're getting a good block right here on Perk. And they obviously running at Denver Harris here. So look at where Andre Sam comes from. And look at how well he just fills this lane. And at the same time, notice when he makes this tackle on Xavier Thomas, he does not fall forward. Okay? That is an absolutely ridiculously good tackle right there by Andre Sam, and he showed some good athleticism popping right back up. So overall, the true freshman for LSU struggled in this game, except for Whit Weeks and, of course, the guy who performed an exorcism later in this game. This is just excellent, excellent, excellent stuff. Okay, the first thing I love about this pressure from House is it's looking like LSU is playing some variation of coverage, right? Because you see Whit Weeks and Greg Brooks shifting back and forth like if they're going to drop in. And right at the snap, Whit is jumping in on an A-gap blitz, okay? And the second thing we decide to do is their best player is Tutu Griffin, and you see we immediately double him with Major Burns. So this is some excellent, excellent, excellent scouting right here by LSU. The first is, well, Mississippi State doesn't really have a whole lot of skilled guys outside of Five and Marks, who isn't out there right now. The second thing is this pressure is so well designed. Okay, so we have Ovia Gufu, who's now picking up the running back on the wheel. All right, that's not a matchup we love, but the thing is, if we get pressure home, it really doesn't matter. We're bringing Harold Perkins off the edge. And look, because the play was so well designed, the center could not tell if Whit Weeks was coming. And the truth is, there's nothing better when it comes to pressure than unblocked A-gap blitzes from your linebacker running downhill. Okay, there's nowhere to go. You just got to throw this football, and bang, Whit Weeks hits him. And you see, this would have been a completion, but 19 didn't turn his head quick enough because the pressure was so well designed. All right, so it's 3rd and 8, and Matt House has him even more in a blender. So we take Weeks off. We bring in an extra DB here, and Ryan Yates, the true freshman, and now we're exotic. Okay, this is a 2-3-6 alignment. LSU did this versus Mississippi State last year, so I know Mississippi State prepared for it, but they weren't prepared for it, okay? The first thing is we're bringing Harold Perkins on a little twist with blitz pressure coming off the edge, and Perk kind of becomes a spy, if you will, here. And look, they do not pass the stunt off well either, okay? So 64 thought the tackle was blocking down on Mekhi Wingo. Mason Smith had a lot of double teams yesterday. He eats up this double, and we just need somebody to break through here and make a play. And you see the tackle goes with Ryan Yates when he should have picked up Wingo and let Yates go free. Just really poor communication. Nothing was really open either. And Mekhi Wingo and Matt House are cooking. Okay? Good stuff. First thing is we get the safety running into the box because he's probably thinking we're going to run on this light box. So remember we were talking about 2 high shells? Well, this time they're kind of in a 3 safety alignment, and I don't know why you would bring this guy in to stop the run, right? The one guy you don't want to beat you in this game is Malik Nabers, force LSU to run the football. So we get that matchup. Jayden is looking this safety off, seeing where he is, and now he is looking backside to the double move. He gives you a nice little pump fake right there, and now he just throws a really good ball. Now, is it a great ball? No. A bit of a wobbler, and it's also behind Brian Thomas Jr. I say Brian Thomas Jr. Malik Nabers. But here's the truth about throwing the football behind somebody. It's not the worst thing. The worst thing is an overthrow. Because with an overthrow, nothing can happen, right? The receiver can't catch it. But on an underthrow, the receiver can work back to it, especially on a double move, when you are looking back at the quarterback, right? And if a DB is beat on a double move, more than likely he is not going to turn his head because that DB is sprinting towards the receiver because he knows he's beat. So if it's an underthrow and it's way underthrown, you're at least getting a pass interference penalty. And if the DB doesn't pass interfere, like he did right here, you're going to get Malik Nabers to just catch the football, okay? I feel really bad for Richardson. I think he's from Louisiana. I'm not so sure. So we get the double move, and 3 is flat-footed, and he's beat. You're better off just yanking Malik Nabers down right there. So, yeah, a lot of separation. You would like Malik to get caught in stride, but I'm okay with another throw there. I really am. And you're able to get an explosive play, and now look, you're in the red zone. Automatic hit. Let's go. All right, we move ahead here to this first and goal play. God, this is really, really well done right here by LSU. Good pull right here by Jayden. He sees that this edge player is running all the way in on Logan Diggs, so we want Jayden to run this in. He's obviously got to beat a safety here. Good job by Logan to hustle back in. Kind of missed him. That would have been a really, really tough block for him to make, to peel back at that safety. The only thing here, if you're Jayden Daniels, is he does skip and jump and leave his feet quite a bit. And right here, he takes a really tough, awkward shot. So, obviously, if it is close, game on the line, and we really do need a touchdown, sure, I'm a little bit more fine with that, but we're up by 17, and you want to protect your body just a little bit better. So let's talk a little bit about short yardage philosophy. Obviously, we have not been the best short yardage team. Last year, we were really good in, line yards, stuff rate, all those advanced stats from Football Outsiders. I really love Charles Turner's tenacity in this game. I mean, there were a lot of plays where he was blocking all the way up till the very end. But just in general, I would like to see the QB sneak be a bigger part of what we do, especially if we're struggling to just pound things in. Now, I am fine with this next pound in because we did hurry to the line of scrimmage. You see, it only took us 12 or 13 seconds to get to this next snap. So they're tired. They're not really ready for it. We get really tight, get a good push right there by Will, and Josh is able to just pound that in. I'm okay with that, and obviously that hurry up, get to the line of scrimmage way. All right, so this was the one explosive rushing play we gave up all day, and this obviously is on Zy Alexander. At the snap, we are running our safety into the box, so it's kind of hard to blame Major Burns here because Burns immediately sees that the wide receiver is coming to block him to seal him, and Weeks potentially could have gotten to the outside here and made this play, but honestly, the RB even could have cut in here. This is just a really good designed run play right here, and this is their best player, their best runner going up against Zy Alexander, and we just need Zy to make this play. It's a difficult tackle, and one thing I will say is there was time for the running back to make a juke move, but I want you to see again Andre Sam, all right? Watch him take an absolutely wonderful angle with no wasted steps. Right here, he sees something, okay? He sees that if this running back is able to break this tackle, you don't want to cut an angle this way because you're the last line of defense. We want you to go flat or this way because we just don't want to give up a touchdown here because we're in a lot of trouble. And look at this angle he takes. It is absolutely perfect. And honestly, after that missed tackle, I would have probably here got over the top of this to make sure we forced him to cut inside. But the second thing here is I don't know how this hold was not called, okay? That is clear as day. And once again, if it's an explosive run, the referees aren't right there. It's kind of a tough angle to see. But I wish holding was reviewable because that is as egregious as you're going to see. And that helped them gain an extra 10 or so yards. And good job by Denver Harris hustling to help out as well. I remember earlier in the film study, they were able to run a screen, and Will Rogers just missed him. Well, Mekhi Wingo is so good at reading screens. He reads this one to perfection, and he saves a touchdown, okay? I want you to watch this, all right? And sometimes it's hard to pick these things up in the game because you're just watching the football, all right? Now, Wingo feels this screen out really quickly, okay? He sees that he is able to get through the line so quickly, and he knows there's no way he is going to affect a throw going horizontal like this. So right when he sees the ball leaves his hands, bang, look at him. He is sprinting. This is not a normal defensive tackle here, y'all. This is a special high IQ football player. And look at the angle he takes, all right? Now, it's Xavier Thomas versus Major Burns. A normal defensive tackle is probably right here, but because it was a full-speed sprint, he's able to help out Major Burns right there and make a good play on Xavier Thomas. All right, it's 4th and 4, and they're running the Leach Staple mesh, okay? Now, we bring everyone. It is straight zero, and this time they pick everything up to perfection. They leave the edge player as the only unblocked player. Love this pressure right here by Matt House. This is just a really freaking good play. And I know it's easy to pick on Sage Ryan. This is difficult in mesh, playing in man coverage on shallow crossers. If you watch the Colorado State-Colorado game, this is what Colorado State did versus Colorado the whole time. Just shallow crossers. There's no way Sage Ryan could make this play right here. And this was actually a play that we pointed out in our Arizona film study. Because if you just tackle him like this, you see he's still able to throw. So you want to do your best to chop that arm down. It's difficult, but if he would have brought a chop, I think he would have been able to catch that elbow right there. So he doesn't have a chance to throw this. This is just Will Rogers making a play. He's a multiple-year starter. He's going to make some of them. And look, they barely got the yards to gain. You'll see it right here. This is just honestly perfect offense. You know, perfect offense will beat good defense any day of the week. And you'll see if you bring that right arm on that elbow right there, he can't get that ball off. And in fact, it could be a fumble, and we're scooping and scoring the other way. 1st and goal, and this is our only touchdown. And this is just a really good red zone play call, kind of like we do with Malik Nabers, except this is a handoff instead of a pitch. And Savion Jones reads it late. That's still a tough play for an end to make. End arounds versus, an end player is always good if the guy has enough speed to get around. Perk actually plays this really well, okay? We want to force him back inside, and Tutu just makes a good cut. We just need Andre Sam to make this tackle, and he doesn't, okay? The only miss I feel Andre Sam really had all day. Maybe there was another. You guys can point it out to me. And, yeah, this is a really difficult tackle. It just is, all right? But you got to make it. This one has got to be made right here by Andre Sam. But that is their absolute best player right there. So defense playing well up to that point. Give Mississippi State some credit to put together one drive. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and 2. We pick it up here in the second half, and we're going to get to as many plays as we possibly can because we want to get to the play. God, I mean, Dellinger had a really good day, if you ask me. I mean, it's kind of a clear giveaway they're run blitzing here. So this honestly isn't the hardest thing right here by Delly to just wash this blitzing backer just out of the play. Obviously, Jayden holds this in because of his ability to run the football, and a good decision by Jayden to give this. And the blocking is just perfect. Will committed some unfortunate penalties. Can't do it any better than this. Mac Markway gets to the second level right here, and this is just a really, really good run play right up the gut. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 4, and this is just excellent pass protection right here by Logan Diggs, and really good quarterback play again by Jayden Daniels, okay? Good decision to get off of the tight end right here, Markway. That's not picking up the first down, okay? Now, you'll see from the different angle here that Malik would have also been open for a first down, but honestly, I'm not sure if that was actually part of this progression. Obviously, we know how good BTJ is at running a dig, and unlike last week versus Grambling, he catches this one. And BTJ obviously having a really good season up to this point. Now, you will get to see the end zone angle here, and I'm going to bring this up yet again. I don't know why this new style of college football is out, but first we have to show some love to Logan Diggs, okay? Of course, the Caleb Jackson hit gets all the credit and all the clicks, but this is a big-time linebacker. This is Nathaniel Watson. He's a really, really good football player. Before we actually show you that, I want you to see how well this is picked up, and this is just really good scouting by LSU. It's 3rd and 4. Rarely does Mississippi State not have somebody blitzing through the A-gap or running through the A-gap, and Charles Turner immediately sees that it's a double A-gap pressure. So Turner picks up Johnson, and Diggs, who since his true freshman season at Notre Dame has been an excellent pass protector. Watch this. Boom! It's nasty. That's absolutely nasty. I mean, that guy, like Leonard Fournette says, has a family. That is just abso-freaking-lutely gross. All right? Now, to let you know how good of a day Malik Nabers had, he's open again. But I never mind throwing to the backside dig, which is something Jayden has struggled with over his time. This is what I want to talk about when it comes to equipment. The baggy undershirt, all right? First off, that is pass interference, okay? You cannot do that unless, once again, I don't know all the rules. So, I don't know. I would need clarification on this. The refs did miss a good bit of holdings and pass interferences on Mississippi State, if you ask me. But that is clear as day, right? And ironically, Brian Thomas Jr. versus Mississippi State had the same thing happen to him last year. And he's so good it doesn't matter. But that allowed the DB to get back into the play. Allowed the DB to keep his balance, and it cost BTJ some separation there. But that's the style. The baggy undershirt is the style, and it has been now for a few years. And once again, it's Jayden Daniels just making plays. If you want to get out of your rush lanes, do so at your own risk. And, I mean, these are just big yards. I mean, there's just no other way around it. This is just a huge run right here on first down. All right, so this was pretty much the only negatively graded play for me, or sequence of plays for me when it comes to the LSU offense. Oh, man. If we're getting Malik in the slot versus single high, I know this is a better safety Marcus Banks he's going up against instead of the nickel he had been burning, but we've got to at least throw this once, okay? And this safety looks like he stays center field, but still. Also, John Emery's in the game. We've got to be able to run on this look, all right? This is a light box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish players. We need to be able to run on this, and we don't, okay? All right, so this is the worst what the F are you doing moment from Jayden in this offense all game. You would not think the slot fade was going to be open again. But if we have scored 2 touchdowns on it, and we're getting Malik going up against a safety, once again, a better safety here. This is a top 100 prospect in Marcus Banks. He's a year 4 guy. We've got to at least throw it once. We just do. This had been our best play all day. You've got to just throw it once. All right? And obviously Jayden sees this pre-snap that the safety is over the top of this, so he doesn't want to throw it. I get it. Okay? But the good thing about a slot fade is you have a lot of space to work with. And we'll show you a different angle here in just a second. The next thing is I don't know if it was, some of our worst plays offensively was when John was in the game. I don't know if Jayden was thinking, hey, let me get John a good touch here to get him going. But this ball has got to go to BTJ. We had been destroying them on these shallow intermediate little crossers right there. So let's throw it to an actual receiver so he can catch it and get upfield. But instead, we throw it behind John Emery on the angle route versus zone coverage. Obviously, an angle route versus zone isn't as good, or Texas route, whatever you want to call it. I want you to see, Brian Kelly is chewing out his staff here, okay? Now, remember, Joe Sloan and Mike Denbrock are both in the booth. And if I'm Brian Kelly and I'm seeing Malik Nabers in the slot, you want to keep going to this play, okay? So, once again, it is too high safety. And if Jayden elected to look at this and throw it, there would have been a safety coming over the top. But as you'll see, I'm not sure if it would have mattered. If you throw this ball where you had been placing it all day to Malik Nabers, he's so freaking hot, that you want to at least give him a shot in this spot, especially second and long there. All right, so guess what? It's third down. And guess what? They give us the same look, okay? The fact that we did not throw this at least once is baffling to me. Even if it's well covered, Malik is so hot, just give him a chance, okay? And we were screaming about this during the halftime show. We do the first drive or so after the halftime show is over. Don't forget pregame, halftime, postgame. For Arkansas, we will not do a pregame. We'll do a halftime and a postgame an hour after the game ends. And why are we doing that? Well, it's because I'll be at the game. We're doing a PHL meetup on Friday night. Still waiting on confirmation on the location there. But on Saturday before the game as well. I think I'm going to do the same thing we did last year. We're at the Greek Amphitheater on campus, one of the most beautiful places on LSU's campus. But I think I'm going to get there probably around noon or 1. This just isn't good on so many different levels, okay? You've got to target Malik at least once, all right? The second thing is Markway just gets jammed to high heavens. So we're just getting nowhere here on a clear throwing situation. And there's just no separation. So Jayden doesn't want to throw this. And he then wants to go to Chris Hilton here. And Chris is a good deep ball route runner. And he's good on comebacks. This just isn't a good route. Okay. Number one, he's kind of just jogging here. This needs to be a sprint. And I know he's kind of waiting for the ball. But you've got to be showing your Chris Hilton speed on a cut to the inside here. And just like last week versus Grambling on an end breaker, he begins to drift upfield, okay? And that allows Banks right here to undercut this. And if he would have undercut that a little bit cleaner, he might have a chance to pick it off and go the other way. Okay, so Chris needs to get a little bit more physical here. You see how he's drifting here? This actually was a good throw by Jayden if Chris just gets his body in front of this player. But you've got to be getting violent here to the inside. Still, because of that, the ball is still floated up in the air, and that could have been a pick. I like the no call on the pass interference there as well. I thought it was good, clean coverage. But once again, let's give this LSU special teams unit a crap ton of credit, okay? You see a lot of backups in here. Bo Bordelon's in here. I think this is Parashan playing one of the ends. And the special teams has just been really good. I mean, this is a relatively long but D1 makeable kick, and we get it. 3rd and 3. I got a question about Mason Smith. We'll talk about him a little bit here. It's Mekhi Wingo again, though, y'all. I mean, what else? What else can we say? What else can we say? Blows this center up, then forces Jaquavius Woody Marks to have to get a lot more horizontal than he needs to be, then redirects his angle and gets right back into this tackle. Okay? I'm out of words. Good job by Weeks sticking with the play. But Wingo was the one who really made that play happen. Just really good stuff and a good tackle by Alexander. All right, 4th and 1. I thought Mason was solid all day. He faced a lot of double teams like he did right here. I do think this was one of the few opportunities he had the chance to do something truly special. Now, this is a very difficult play I'm about to show you, but it is in his repertoire. I thought Mason had a pretty good day, and he faced a lot of doubles. They weren't going to let him beat him. Almost to the detriment, right? Because it allowed Wingo to really, dominate this game. You've seen Wingo make a few plays. So you see Mason takes this double, and they're double teaming here, and he's working to the next level to get to Weeks, all right? Right here, if you're Braden Swinson, we want you to crash as hard as you can to the inside here because we know Will Rogers isn't going to take this run. Still, difficult play for him when the split zone tight end's coming around, all right? So this is a really, really well-blocked running play and a good read right here by Jaquavius Woody Marks. He sees this hole wide open. But watch this right here by Mason Smith. This is really good stuff. The first is he does a good job sitting on this double. And by sitting on the double, it basically means he's not getting pushed back. He's not just getting completely wiped out of this hole. The next thing is he does do a good job feeling this out, okay? You know he's not going to run through here. So now, even though this might not necessarily be your responsibility, this gap, this is where the hole is, okay? Now he does a good job eventually clubbing 58 right here. But the one thing he makes a mistake here is once you club him, get rid of this block as quickly as you can, okay? Reggie White was a master of just clubbing people just out of the play. You're strong enough to just whip 58 out of here, and if he would have just disengaged, he would have had the opportunity to tackle Marks. Now, why should you disengage right here? The first is you can make the tackle. You can make him short of the line to gain, and if you do it sharply, it's going to spook Marks, and he's likely not going to fall forward on Mason Smith. The second thing is when you club and you disengage this blocker, all he could do is hold on to you, and that oftentimes is called a holding, all right? The issue is instead of looking to see where the football was, he worried about just pile driving this guard all the way over here, okay? And maybe he thought the ball literally was right here, and that's why he kept squeezing it down. But when you play good running backs, they're going to feel this hole out. Once again, this is a really, really difficult play to make off a double, but it was doable, especially if Mason's an elite player. And once again, I thought Mason had a fine day overall. Disengage, you might be able to make that play and turn it over on downs. Now, the likelihood of him stopping Marks in that spot is very little. Once again, that would have been a really difficult play, but that's going to be the next, evolution of his game. So 4th and 1, they commit a really bad false start penalty. I wish they didn't, because this would have been a spectacular Harold Perkins play. I don't think the whistle really would have affected that at all. Andre Sam, he just continues to make plays. All right. First thing here is it's clear we are in man coverage, all right? So it's 4th and 6. We are in man, all right? you got to get all the yards to gain. You're also down 20. So if we're going to play aggressive man coverage across the way, well, guess what? Will Rogers makes a good decision. Why don't we run a slot fade? Because we know that this pocket of space versus single high is going to be open. But guess what happens? Andre Sam sinks deep center field, and he reads the eyes of Will Rogers, okay? He sees Will is locked in on this slot fade. Second thing, these guys do scout, all right? Sage Ryan has had a really rough season. So why not, with one of your best athletes, take a shot over the top of him? Sage actually plays this okay, all right? He's even with them, and now we just need him to turn his head. Guess what? He doesn't do that, all right? So Sage is beat, and look at where this ball is placed, but guess what happens? Andre Sam, folks. Andre freaking Sam. He gets over the top of it and makes this a very difficult play for Xavier Thomas. And I love Xavier Thomas. You guys know I've talked about him a lot on this channel. He's from New Orleans. You have got to lay out for that. But he doesn't because Andre Sam is right there. All right, here we go. It's 1st and 10. And yes, once again, Jayden Daniels making plays with his legs. And let me get some water. Got to quench my thirst because obviously this play is going to generate a lot of discourse. So Jayden, of course, is just cooking him. Linebacker has a good angle. He's an experienced linebacker. No big deal. Okay? Now, I hate the targeting call. I agree with each and every one of you. It's one thing if you're just going in with your head. It's another thing, though, if it's an open field and Jayden is juking and all that stuff. You can't call targeting there. Oh, man. Look at this. Boom. Yeah, you can't really call targeting there. I mean, there's no way he could have known that Jayden was just going to leave his feet at the very last second. And you notice he actually just let him go. He didn't just pile drive him to the ground. Didn't taunt him. I don't even think he really even knew what was happening there. Jayden just kind of ran into him, right? So he does lead with the crown. So I get it by the letter of the law, whatever. But still, it's 3rd and 5. And once again, if you're a Mississippi State fan watching this, it's like Arnett and the defensive coaches didn't learn anything from last year. Make him throw from the pocket. Don't lose contain to the right side. I know I'm going to promote it again, but you want to watch the film studies that we drop midweek because we told you that Mississippi State was going to stupidly do this. It's dumb. It's so dumb. And as an LSU fan, we want them to do this. It's just easy yards while running out of bounds. Okay? Abso-freaking-lutely crazy. Becky right here doesn't even want to look. She's like, why would we give up contain? Why would we give up to contain against by far the best rushing quarterback in the SEC? And maybe in all college football. Why would we do that? I get it, Becky. I get it. It doesn't make any sense to me either. And then obviously, it's just same thing. We're running the play that we normally run with Mason Taylor. If one decides to play Jayden, we just dish it to Kamarion Pimpton for the tutty. Okay? But if not, we just run at a 45-degree angle towards the end zone, and Jayden is in for a touchdown. Okay? Alrighty, here we go. 2nd and 11. By far the most exhilarating play of the day. Everybody tweeted this out. And obviously, we have been begging for more Caleb Jackson action. Okay? Now, I don't even need to say anything. I don't even need to say anything about how spectacular of a run this is. Okay? We're going to break this down from so many different angles. I mean, I mean, that is so freaking insane. Let's break it down. All right. The first thing is this actually wasn't the most well-blocked play. Charles Turner, who I thought had a decent day all around, look at this. He's blown way back into the backfield. All right. So Caleb's got to kind of have to make something here out of nothing. All right. They actually squeeze this rush lane down pretty well. But the first thing Caleb does a good job of is pressing this hole. By pressing this hole, this allowed this contained defender to cut to the inside, and then it actually gave Caleb the opportunity to bounce it. Okay? Look at that. First off, God, that's just really good. It's really amazing balance. Okay? There are so many backs that would have just ran it up in here for 3 yards. Second thing, okay? Nasty stiff arm. Probably the most underrated part of this play. Now, you always hear me talk about being a good teammate. All right? I want you to see Josh Williams. It's evident that this guy right here is the most talented running back on this team and one of the most talented players on this team. Look at this. Man, I've run out of words for Josh Williams. Okay? Look at everybody else on the sideline, and look at him. Look at him cheering this on. All right? Freaking love that. Okay? And then, boom. Look at this. Coach 30 is going to have a field day with this. Also, and honestly, if you are an LSU player and you're not jumping off the bench and you saw this happen, if you're not going crazy, you're not really one of my kind of guys. Okay, now some of them are probably in shock. What the frick just happened here? Okay, so in defense, but it's Josh Williams again, cheering on a guy who's probably going to start eating into your work. But this is what I like to see. All right, Major Burns here is absolutely hilarious. Look at this. Okay? Major Burns is pointing at 20. Christian Brathwaite giving the wheezy meme. Look at that, dude. That is, 20. You just gotta, oh, man. 20. Like a Mason Taylor talking trash about it. And then look, the entire bench gets up. The sign of a good team right there. Once again, you'll see it from this angle. Good job by Will getting to the second level. But to press and then bounce is so tough, okay? And the good thing about a bounce here is 10 is now kind of wrong-footed, and it makes that stiff arm that much better. And let's just enjoy it one more time, folks. Just enjoy this. I mean, this will be played with the Fournette clips, okay? I mean, look at that. You're wondering how I got here. I mean, look, his limbs. I mean, he has the Holy Spirit. And this guy quit playing. Caleb is still in the play, and he's staring at you. Okay? So, obviously for Caleb, if you're in bounds, you don't want to, take that hit right there. But man, I just love good teammates, dude. That's just what it's all about. All right, Jayden Daniels, and once again, it's Malik Nabers in the slot. This is, okay, really good stuff by Jayden. If this is man coverage, we want to hit Malik Nabers, okay? Sometimes in this situation, if they're doing man match or whatever the terms are here, if this player runs a flat, the corner right here will pick him up. And if this player runs a go, this player will pick him up. Okay? So, Jayden sees that it's man. And with this slot player being this far off, Jayden is looking to see if the corner is running with BTJ here, or actually that's Chris Hilton. And he sees that, and he throws it, and it's a great throw, of course, because Jayden Daniels was absolutely amazing in this game. That was a really good open field tackle right there by Banks. So here we go. It's 2nd and 17 after the penalty. And Jayden sees right here that this safety is on this hash and in the box. So he knows that Malik is not really, and you see he's looking at the safety right there. He knows Malik is one-on-one down the sideline, and he decides to let this bad boy rip. This is what a lot of people have been asking Jayden to do more of. And this right here, just look at where this ball is placed. It is absolutely amazing. And you see Malik, he didn't put his hands up till the very last second. Jamar Chase is so good at that. So the throw should get a lot of credit, but honestly, this is as good of a route you're going to see, okay? This corner is actually bailing on Malik, so you wouldn't think he would be able to get over the top of him. So Malik decides to stutter and go, a nice little double move, and you see that the corner is actually turned, and he's still in pretty good position, so Malik slows down just a little bit and then turns the afterburners on. Great hand fighting right there by Malik Nabers, and look at this. Perfect. I mean, God, that is such a great catch. Man, throw is perfect, catch even better. Crazy stuff. Something else that was crazy about this Malik play is he actually saved LSU thousands of dollars, okay? Take a look at this. This is a good job by the camera person. He almost stepped on what looks like an expensive camera. Look at this freaking lens, man. LSU's always got the super fancy stuff. That's probably a $10,000, $15,000 rig right there. Good freaking stuff, Malik. So it's 1st and goal, and if LSU was to blow somebody else out later in the season, one interesting thing is Jayden normally wears leg sleeves. He actually took them off before this drive. And in this spot, I just think it needs to be an automatic handoff to Noah Cain. Obviously, we want the touchdown, but it's such a blowout. We don't want any more tough hits to go to our quarterback. And Jayden actually takes another one. That's just a crazy stiff arm. And the thing that's very interesting is with most quarterbacks, you never really want them going horizontal. But with Jayden, because he is so bouncy and tough to tackle, he is just always able to still get the angle. He's always able to just get the corner. 3rd and 16, and plays like this is why I like Xavier Thomas so much coming out of high school. What a throw right here by Will Rogers, and he's able to get this ball up and down over Major Burns. But once again, it's Andre Sam. Look at this, okay? Bang. I mean, he was just so good in this game. Why is this a good play? Well, he avoided the targeting. This is about as hard of a hit you can deliver without actually committing targeting. Excellent stuff, okay? Good throw, good catch, good hit by Andre. So obviously in garbage time, Mississippi State was able to drive the football down the field, and this was an important touchdown to some, and by some, that means me. I did have the over in this game, and this honestly, got it over the hump. So on Power Hour SEC, we do a lot of, sports picks, if you will, and that's why you need to subscribe to my SEC channel. We do live streams 2 times every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central, and yeah, I mean, this backup defense was just very discombobulated. Some of this right here, though, was a design flaw, if you will. Okay, and LSU caught themselves in this spot a few times. All right, Sage Ryan and Deshaun Womack. All right, we have 2 5-stars coming off the edge right here. The problem with that is they're both coming essentially from the same gap. All right, so they're serving the same role. Now, if Womack's job was to go through this gap and Sage Ryan is now the new contained defender, that would make sense. But this is just not really well executed, if you ask me, okay? We want at least one person to guard this, split tight end. But even if it's not the case, we want at least one of these guys to at least contain what is clearly the backup dual threat option. Okay, if this is Will Rogers and you want to just go right at him, sure. But this quarterback has the speed to break contain, and we just cannot let him get outside right here, all right? And not only does he do it, he does it pretty easily, okay? So he had not one but two options. Boom! I'm looking at you. So that was, Jared with his mini cowbell. I know it was fun ringing that thing on the road. And here's Branson Cat, one of our other patrons. Man, what a day it was. So many of you traveled to the game, and obviously a lot of you will be at the Arkansas game. So tune in. We have some meetup things coming up. I cannot wait to see each and every one of you over this next week. Now, I want to have a very open conversation about this game, all right? And there's plenty of nuance that comes with it. Now, if it's in your heart's desire, feel free, obviously, to drop a donation. It goes an absolute long way in helping produce these film studies because this is what I do, baby. Let's go. So, does Mississippi State stink? All right, you're taking a look at Jayden Daniels' numbers, and this is by far statistically his best quarterback performance, and it's not even close. This was an all-time great LSU quarterback performance, honestly an all-time great SEC quarterback performance when you go 30 for 34, and oh yeah, you also have 2 rushing TDs, 60-plus rushing yards. It is absolutely insane how good Jayden was in this game and how good LSU was as a team. Now, obviously, as we always do, we take a look at the team stats. LSU just dominated this game from start to finish. And it's important to note that Brian Kelly put together a really good game plan. I like the idea of stretching because you had an hour bus ride all the way to Mississippi State, and you got to get home early. That's a benefit of an 11 a.m. kick. And Arkansas played a very late and back and forth game with BYU, so they'll be coming in with some tired legs to Tiger Stadium, and you had the game in hand by the fourth quarter. So everything just could not have gone better for LSU, but it's also time to be a little bit honest about this Mississippi State team. I said this week they're a team of a lot of ordinary players, but not a whole lot of special guys, and that kind of proved to be true. And I tried to warn everyone preseason that had Will Rogers so highly ranked as a quarterback. Hey, with the scheme shift and all these things, Will Rogers cannot challenge the deep portions of the field. And this was a good matchup for our defense to get going, even though we did not have Greg Brooks in this game. So obviously I do think we're going to need to get Greg Brooks back because overall this LSU team still isn't the absolute deepest. But the truth is, at this point, and I know the beginning question was kind of some sarcasm, nuts bus to start this video. I still think Garrett Nussmeier is going to be a really good quarterback, but Jayden Daniels, up to this point in the season, yeah, there were some missed throws in the Florida State game, and yeah, there was a miss here or there versus Grambling, but he has played phenomenally, and at this point in the season, look, there are a lot of things you as LSU fans should be very blessed about, and one of those things is that you don't have a quarterback OC situation like at Alabama, where, look, Tommy Rees could have been the LSU offensive coordinator. Thank goodness that didn't happen, right? I say Mississippi State. LSU was so freaking good in this game, and honestly, at this point, they are the best team in the West. They are. Now, this is going to be a hungry Arkansas team. They love that golden boot, and you better be ready to go. But huge step in the right direction in all 3 phases of the game. And, of course, we'll have a live stream if you're watching this on a premiere starting pretty soon. And it should be pretty fun. Okay? We'll talk to you soon, baby. S. Power. Our LSU. Bah! So go on ahead. Join that PHL Patreon, all that good stuff. And tonight, we are doing, like some beef Greek kebabs. Let's go. And Malik's a goat, baby. You can't end the video not talking about Malik freaking Nabers. One thing about that stat line, though, that is going to be very, very interesting. We'll talk about it in the live stream. Let's go.